Hey, you guys. Thanks for jumping on. So I have my homegirl, Amanda Francis, on with me. And so I want to tell you guys a little lead in as far as how I got the idea to reach out to Amanda and see if she wanted to record this training with me. So last week I was sick, and quite honestly, I was looking for ways to put content on my Instagram stories without showing my face, because if I looked as bad as I felt, you guys would have been like, dear God, get off the internet. And so I was like, okay, how can I put some fun content on here without really having to show myself? And so I just started asking funny questions, and it actually turned out to be hilarious. I was asking people, like, what are the things that you guys hate to see online? What are the things that are just like overplayed at this point? Some of them were funny. Some of them were a little dumb, if I'm being honest. But then I asked, okay, what are some of the sales tactics that you guys really hate, and what are some of the sales tactics that you guys really love? How do you like to be sold to, and how do you not prefer to be sold to? And I started thinking, like, there's some extra content that I feel like would be really fun. And somebody messaged on one of those questions, and she said, Amanda Francis is the master at this. And I was like, yes, she is. That's a great idea. So that's how we ended up recording this fun training for you guys. And I thought that it would be fun to talk about a couple topics. Number one, how to get people to thank you for selling to them. I think that so many of us are afraid that people are going to think we're icky for selling. And really, like, if you do it right, people are thanking you. So Amanda's the fucking master at that. And then also talk about why your really good offers or products are not selling and what you guys can do about it. So Amanda motherfucking Francis, welcome. Hello.
Hello, humans. Thank you for having me.
I love that, like, I'm the only one on video and I'm like doing this grand, like, arm unveiling.
I know. I'm like in my car post-workout. I'm like, Andrea, I'm turning off my video.
It's all good.
This is audio only.
That's how we got here.
Here we are. No, people were, I'm just going to say this quickly before we get into really good content. People were driving me crazy with some of the things they were saying on your questions. I was like, people hate everything. These people hate everything.
I think that we can't take all of those responses super seriously, because if you clicked on some people's pages, those are the people that really just don't take life that seriously.
Yeah. Some of the things are really random. And I was like, I don't know. I can't think of any right now, but I remember thinking like, oh, people don't like it when you, what was it? Show your feet in a picture. And I was like, this is so bizarre. These things they hate are so bizarre.
It's funny because I messaged or I put a comment and I was like, I do that all the time. I love showing my feet. My feet are one of my favorite things to post because my grandma and I always trade feet pictures. And for whatever reason, I think like everybody else must love that. So I always show feet pictures. She commented afterwards and she goes, I can't lie, I've done it too. And I was like, okay, at least you're being honest.
People get so weird. A few years ago, before like influencing was what it is now, people on Facebook would be like, oh my God, why are you showing what you eat or your Starbucks drink? And now that's like a whole lifestyle. Influencing is like a whole industry, you know, like it or hate it. So I don't know. I think people just get pet peeves, but I don't know, I'll just say something a little bit bold. Having pet peeves about random things on the internet is often like a spectator sport. Like those of us who are like doing a lot of work online are annoyed about like, I'm annoyed at things, but they're not silly little things. I'm annoyed about like bad teaching or like misinformation or like really low vibe concepts being taught as spiritual. Like, I'm mad at shit that matters. I don't care about your food or your feet. Like, I have work to do.
I really appreciate that you said that, because I think there are some, and we should definitely get into that. There are some things that really aren't serving anyone by you doing them, like those messages where people are like, I have a goal that I need to reach, so I need you to buy 5 of my products, or is that like something like that? I get those all the time.
So weird. I think my emails say the opposite. Like I, from time to time, will send an email that's like, hey y'all, I've already met my monthly goal. I don't need the money, but I have to tell you one more time about this offer because the card is closing.
Yeah.
Because like my bank account's good, but like that doesn't mean my offer isn't still like needed. And I want to remind the people. Okay, let's just go there. Let's just go into the things. So let's start with this. Selling is not bad. I view selling as the sacred vehicle by which we get our work into the world. I view selling as like a privilege, a joy, an honor. And like, I think for years, the spiritual community has been trying to say like, it's not selling, it's sharing. And I'm just like, but why isn't it selling? Selling isn't bad if you know your work changes lives. Like selling isn't bad we have to realize how powerful all of our work is. You might not be a spiritual teacher. You might be selling beautiful socks, but I'm imagining that the people are going to feel amazing in the best goddamn socks they've ever worn in their life. And I think that's amazing too. Or because you sold your 50,000 socks, your kid gets to go to the greatest school. Like I can always take whatever it is around people, why people are hung up on selling, and just like bring it back to a really solid purpose and why, you know?
I love that you brought up socks because Lululemon sells a delightful pair of socks that basically give your feet a hug. So if it's a good product, it like changes lives.
It just does. Yeah, and my facial lady the other day wouldn't stop talking about her Spanx no slip socks. Yes. I mean, if I tried to tell her that those socks weren't of high service, she would have said I was wrong.
She would have exited you out the building.
I don't really care if it's a chewing gum or a digital course or pair of socks. Like you got to get yourself behind it. So when you text me today and you're like, I think maybe we should riff on why good products don't sell, I was like, well, the number one reason is that you don't believe in it. And the number two reason is you believe in it, but you're telling stories about why it can't sell. And I can riff on both those things.
Or you don't believe in yourself. I think that's too. Yeah. It all comes down to belief.
So all comes down to belief. But like, if you're telling stories that like, I do this with my courses sometimes. I'll get a funny idea in my head. Well, this course is good enough except for this. Or this course like would be worthy of massive compensation except this or that or the other. And it's just something I made up. But because I understand that all limiting ideas and anything that feels restricted is made up, then I can like reorganize it and actually see if there's anything I want to, desire to, need to add to the course, not from a place of making my product good enough, but from a place of just getting myself fully behind it so I can go big, you know?
Absolutely. I think that that's something that I've been doing since the beginning of going into business for myself. It's almost like I have this like energetic ramp up to getting ready to get online to talk about something. Like I have to really, like I've always described it as like sometimes if you've been married for a long time, sometimes you got to put yourself in the mood. Like it can be like that in business too. Sometimes you have to get yourself there mentally first. So, but like once you're in it, like it's all good, right?
Yeah, no, that's true. Even if you haven't been married for a long time, like your mental state around anything determines whether you can do it with your whole heart, whether we're talking about great sex or great selling.
Amen. Yeah. Okay. So let's talk about getting people, not necessarily, I don't love the word getting, but ideally you want a beautiful exchange of energy when you're selling. So you want people to feel grateful that they received your product or service versus the common fear of people are going to think that I'm just trying to sell to them because I need something, because I need their money or I need the rank advancement if I'm a network marketer or like whatever it is. People are going to think it's like a selfish thing. So what would you say to people about getting yourself, about positioning your product or service in a way that will make people feel thankful at the end of that exchange?
So I don't know what it's like for other people who receive like the kind of feedback I receive, but I can tell you what happened for me. Like I years ago was working through all of this. Like, okay, I work online. I sell coaching. I sell courses, all these things. And, you know, like everyone else, the first time anyone paid me, it was a teenage girl's mom that paid me for life coaching. The first time anyone ever paid me, I cried my eyes out and felt so bad for taking money from them, quote unquote, taking money from them. So I had the limiting belief as bad as anyone fucking else. Like, I mean, I could not stand they paid me $300 for however many coaching sessions. So I guess like anyone else, I went from I can't take their money to, whoa, when they pay me, they receive more than I could possibly receive because they get the life-changing work and they're happy to pay for it, to kind of like people get to pay me. Well, I remember starting to make an affirmation on Facebook years ago that was like, people love to pay me. So it went from like, oh my God, I took their money, to people love to pay me, to like, they get to pay me, to, I even said before to my mastermind, I let people pay me. It is a privilege to pay me and be in my energy and in my world, which might be a little extreme. So let's just go with people love to pay me. So for a few years, I was saying people love to pay me. And then one day, I think it was like a year ago, I was on my old CRM, like my old payment provider thingy where we like process the payments. And my CEO sent me the thing that like showed me the sales for the month. It's like a spreadsheet. And for the first time in my life, I had never looked at this before. I had this software for years. For the first time in my life, I scrolled through all the columns to see what all the information I had on the people was. And I found a column where people can leave a note when they make a purchase, which is probably made for like physical products or maybe delivery instructions. Who knows? I didn't even know that my like payment gateway had that spot for someone to write a note. But I read thousands of love notes from people thanking me for paying me. It was like, I cannot believe I'm finally doing this. This is changing my life. The last time I bought your course, this happened, and on and on and on and on. So much like confident expectation and intention setting and gratitude for paying me. And I was like, holy shit, people leave me love notes and they pay me. People love to pay me. So I think it was like it was an intention to like just get out of my own fucking head about taking money from people or any of that, and realizing it was of service and it was for them. And it like really, really came true, just like any intention we set and keep our faith behind, you know?
Okay, so you started with changing the belief and then supporting it with an affirmation.
Yeah, I know I told that in a really long way. That question took me down memory lane, Andrea. But
No, that's powerful.
yeah, so I would say, let's say we always have to decide what the truth is. So let's say, so I figure out what a truth is for me by something that like feels good, feels empowering, and I would be like over the moon joyful if I believed it were true. And for me, it has to be like something that resonates in my soul, like resonates in my gut. It has to feel very true, and something I want to be true, even though I think it's impossible. Is kind of the vibe. And I do this with anything I don't believe I can have. Like I just have to find something more true than what I'm currently thinking. So like a truth that was true for me was like, no, if people show up with this thing, expecting results and putting belief in the work, I know they're going to get incredible results. And I can teach them how to believe in themselves. And I can deliver content, practical and spiritual and business and energetic and all of it that is really valuable and useful. I know that. So it just became about them. So the idea that my work is high service and worthy of massive compensation was a truth that I could begin to get behind. You know what I mean?
Yes. Let's talk a little bit about aligned offers or products, because this
Okay.
is something that I think people are faced with. I mean, I face it like monthly when I have a new idea. Like, okay, that could sell versus was I with you in New York when Jeremy was? Yes, I was. When Jeremy was trying to get me to sell, he's like,
leg warmers,
gotta be a hit.
And I was like, leg warmers were 5 years ago. I love Jeremy, but he's just a little behind.
He does love a good 80s moment. But yeah,
I mean, I say you get yourself a pair that matches some lingerie and give him a leg warmer experience that he'll never forget. But I do not think you should sell them.
I can absolutely do that. I'm not going to invest money into developing like the perfect leg warmer and trying to sell that. Like,
I really can't with that idea.
So the different, like, could it be successful? Probably. I'm sure there's a whole like slew of people out there that would like get down with some frequency infused leg warmers.
Yeah, I'm sure there's a dancer community, a bar class community. I'm sure if it was a passion of your soul, there would be an angle, of course.
Right. But the thing is it's not. Like, there was nowhere
Right.
in my body that was confirming the thought that, like, yes, this could sell. So I have my process for figuring out if something is an aligned product or offer or idea for me, but I love the way that you explain it. Will you talk about what alignment means and then how you feel that?
I don't remember what you're talking about as far as what I've said before, but I can tell you what's coming to mind right now. And then you can remind me if you want me to talk about something specific.
Okay.
So, like, my whole thing is, this is why I've never surveyed my audience for what they want me to create. Like, I believe that I have to create what I desire. And I believe that, like, my desires are from the divine. So if I want it in that soul heartfelt place, then that's as good as anything. And typically the things you want, you will believe aren't possible, but that's a lot better than believing that it'll sell really well and not having your heart behind it, because that won't sell ever. That will never work. So for me, it's when it's what I fucking want. But like alignment, I think I know what you're thinking of. The whole thing about like alignment for me is when like the desire in my soul and like the action I'm taking and like the thoughts in my mind and my beliefs are like all lining up into one thing, like that vibe.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's what alignment feels like to me. But like, so you can have an aligned idea, but then you have to get your heart and your mind and your action behind your aligned idea to feel like in alignment. Yeah, right. That's how it feels to me.
Right. So the way that you said it in module 1 of Self from Your Soul, you said when your thoughts are aligned, your heart and your body, you specifically said your body as well. So like you could feel it physically resonating in your body, and then your language as well, your words. So and I think
that's so good. Well,
I had a feeling you didn't remember.
I do remember teaching on it because alignment was a new buzzword when I recorded module 1. And I remember like being like, people are so confused about what this word even means. So what does it mean to me? But like, I think that's how I manifest. When I'm manifesting something, I'm thinking thoughts of it already being mine. I'm feeling feelings of it already being mine, but feeling it in my body, like getting excited or grateful feelings or joyful feelings in my body. I'm thinking thoughts about it. I'm saying words about it. Like I'm aligning myself to it already being a reality,
Right. And from a quantum physics standpoint, like the energetics of it, the thought sends it out into the quantum field, and the emotion that you feel physically from your body essentially charges the thought and collapses it and starts drawing experiences to you. So that's like a little bit of nerdy information for you guys, but like it's so important that you think the thought and then it resonates physically with you as well, and that your language is supporting it in a way that it sounds like it's something that you're actually going to take action on, and then of course the actions come next. But if you're thinking it and feeling it but saying, but this probably isn't going to work out for me, like again, the language piece isn't supporting what you're
totally. Well, for everyone's a little bit different. Some people like really get into feeling and vibration through like visualization and like whatever. I've always gotten myself into feeling the quickest with words. Like words feel very powerful to me. Mm-hmm. If I like get out of my car right now and start walking down the street, saying to myself, thinking to myself something about, like my first $500,000 a month, or I'm already married to the man of my dreams, or anything, I can get myself so fucking ramped up like about that thing already being in my reality. And when I do that consistently, it's crazy what turns around in my life. But I think we have to know what brings vibration into our own bodies. And for me, words and thoughts will do it for me.
Totally. I love that so much.
Yeah.
Okay, so if you guys are wondering why a good product or service isn't selling, ask yourself, is this good product and service aligned with me?
Yeah. Right? Is this what I really want to do? If I could do anything in the world, would it be this?
Yeah.
Sometimes we're just not telling ourselves the fucking truth.
Sometimes we just shouldn't sell like warmers. But I'm so thankful that I get to tell that story.
No, he is adorable with his ideas. Jeremy and Andrea have called me more than once to like settle a dispute about whether something was a good idea. Because Andrea is like, I know Amanda will see through this nonsense. Jeremy's like, call Amanda. And then I'm like, Sorry, Jeremy. It's not how selling
There
works.
was one time where you were so neutral, and I'm like, I really fucking need you to fully be on my side. I can't even remember what it was, but I was listening to you, and I'm like,
Well,
this is not going to go how I think it's going to go. Shit.
well, I was trying to hear him out. Like, I was trying to make sure I wasn't throwing him under the bus for being a man or
Right.
for you being the one that was my friend. But I think even on that one, once I heard everyone's full story, like, I still told you you had to do what was aligned for you.
Yes.
And Jeremy's like, he told us that we were leaving men out and that we would sell more if we made it man friendly.
That's
and we're
right.
like, men aren't buying boxes full of crystals most of the time. I mean, some are. Let's not discount the percent of men that are super into it. Like, amazing. But like, you making the box pink wasn't a problem, and Jeremy thought it was, you know?
Right. Absolutely. I do. It's all coming back to me now.
No, we love Jeremy so much. Him and his cat shirts. Shout out to Jeremy.
I remember specifically, so this is like such a good teaching point. I remember specifically now exactly what we were arguing about. And at first it was like a friendly argument. And then later on it was like, this could be a deal breaker moment in our marriage. But it was like
don't give up now. Y'all have been married way too long.
I know we have.
Yeah.
It would be a deal breaker for 10 seconds. And I'd be like, I fucking hate you for 5. Anyways. So he kept saying that in order to succeed in business, P.S. he has never run his own business.
Nope.
You have to cast a wider net, that like you should be targeting everyone instead of a small group, a small niche group of people. And so like we teach the opposite, like know your audience, know who you want to serve. And beyond any of that, who the fuck do you want to sell to? That comes back to alignment. Like that's what I was arguing
every time.
I just don't give a fuck about creating a men's line right now. There was no alignment for me in it. And like, he just didn't care. All he saw was like, he just wanted to be heard. And I didn't know how to make him feel that way. You were actually better at that than I was in the moment.
I think I had to put on my therapist hat and
you did.
hear what he was saying. I mean, I'm here to serve, but like, no, it's sweet. You know what will be cute is someday after women wearing, you know, your frequency infused thing and your crystal pocket things, like over the years, that maybe some of their husbands do start asking for it or whatever. I don't think the movement can expand, but starting with the people who already want it and like hear it and was like, oh my God, my crystal fell out of my bra yesterday or whatever, like that just makes more sense, you know?
Absolutely. And I cry thinking about like the products that we're specifically creating for women. It evokes such a strong, compelling emotion out of me that I just don't get from thinking about serving men yet. That doesn't mean it won't come, but like, so what he did for me, you guys, if you have experiences like this where your spouse may not or significant other may not agree with you, is like he really helped me get clarity about what I didn't want. And that was totally fine too. Like just in the moment, I really should have taken notes from therapist Amanda and been like, I hear where you're coming from. Thank you for such a great idea. I can totally understand what you mean. Instead, I just want to be like, nope, you're wrong. I know more.
Yeah. Trying to prove someone wrong is like never a good plan.
Never when it's your husband.
Well, or anyone. Like, what do we gain by someone else feeling wrong? Like, what does the planet gain vibrationally by someone else feeling like any amount of like shame? You know, like fucking nothing.
I love that you took it there. I'm just now learning that in 2019.
I can't help it. You know, there's a chapter in my upcoming book about this, and I didn't plan on riffing on this, but I'll just start really, really quickly. I saw this post on the internet where this woman said something like, if you're spending, you're not saving. And the connotation was anytime you spend money, you are wrong. That should be in your 401k so you can retire early. And it just made me sick. The post made me sick, and I sat down and wrote 10,000 words. I thought I was writing an email because I write 5,000 word emails all the fucking time. I mean 5,000 character emails. I thought I was writing an email, and I sent it to Debbie, my CEO, to send it out. I sent it to Debbie, and Debbie was like, "This is really deep and really good." She's like, I think I'm going to use a quarter of it in this email. And I was like, yes, I know it's supposed to be a book. Anyway, but like, why am I talking about this? Oh, in the chapter of the book, I explained that like, shame is the lowest vibration to try to create change from. I mean, it's such a low vibration, but it doesn't create change. Like my favorite psychologist of all time, Carl Rogers, said, the curious paradox is when I accept myself as I am, then I can change. And that's always been very true for me and very true with my clients. I show up for my clients with the idea that they're good enough, that they're perfect, that nothing they think, feel, say is wrong ever. And I just show up with them. And I can identify that they are thinking thoughts that aren't serving them, or that they have patterns or habits that are wrong or even harmful, but I don't ever approach them that they're wrong or that they're helpful. I dig into their shit with them so they can draw conclusions, right? Because me saying you're wrong and them feeling bad about themselves and then saying, oh, I should really change this is not how anyone changes.
If you were to measure the frequency of shame, did you know that's actually when your cells start to die?
It's not shocking. Think about anyone who's lived in shame in their life. Like I can think of an ex-boyfriend of mine who really like made some bad choices and really like wallowed in his shame, and like he's not healthy, and I mean he's a mess. And he just straight couldn't believe that though he had made bad choices, he was innately good enough as a person. But like I come from the stance of we are all enough all the time, and I think that's a much better position to design your life from.
Amen. Especially if you're selling. You guys, honestly, like when you're trying to sell a product or service, your belief in yourself, your product or service is the first thing that we talked about, right? Like it's the most crucial piece beyond any strategy anybody could ever sell you. That piece, like nobody can sell that to you. You have to do that work yourself. Yeah. But it's the most crucial thing. Like if you have shit getting in your way about whether you're good enough to put that offer out there, handle your shit first, right?
Totally. And always. And like I think people say this a lot after Sell From Your Soul and after the money course. And like people are always like, oh, this wasn't just about money. This wasn't just about selling, because it's like the foundation has to be the belief, how we think about ourselves, how we think about our work, how we think about service. But I think when we change those foundations, like we just feel better as people, and we get to make more money and have people love to pay us. And, like it all comes, but like you feeling good, like you feeling good about yourself, you liking yourself is some like healing shit.
Somebody said not long ago, like entrepreneurship is the biggest personal development course you'll ever sign up for.
I know.
Yeah. It is. But like at the same time, you get so much out of it, and who you become as a human being as you get better and better at it. Like there's no choice but to grow internally as your business is growing externally. And it's just wild to think about how that bleeds into other areas of your life. Like I can't even imagine who I would be as a parent if I hadn't become an entrepreneur when I did. Game changer.
Totally. Well, yeah, you see opportunities different and you see your power. And because our businesses are spiritual businesses, like it teaches us so much about like energetics and creation. And yeah, I wouldn't want life without learning all my co-creative power. And I learned a lot of it through creating and selling online, to be honest.
Okay, so let's talk about selling a little bit. So I asked Amanda, you guys, if she would allow me to share one of her courses that she's not actually launching right now, specifically just with my audience, and she agreed. So her course, Sell From Your Soul, is a course that I just signed up for this year. I don't know why. What took me so? I guess you only launched it one time before this. So
yeah, it's only 2 years old. I think it's my newest course, isn't it?
It must
be. It's my newest course. Yeah.
So yeah, you launched it earlier this year. I bought it. I went through, I have not done, it's so funny because module 4, you specifically say like, this is the most important module. And I was going through them and I was like, I have not watched that module yet. I watched it. But it's the energetics piece, and that's the piece that I think I probably understand more than the rest. But
oh yes, that's the week. Like I do a week just on the energy I keep myself in when selling before I go into the week. That's like my strategy for launching and the sequence of time and what my team does and yeah. No, I do think it's a really important module, but it's okay.
It is, but I think I just didn't.
I think you know a lot about it, and I think you'll still like listening to it. But yeah.
No, yeah, I of course I will. But like, I think I just was like, okay, I do not go through anything in a linear fashion. So I
Yeah.
was like, I was going through bonuses and pre-work and then jumping here and there. And
Oh,
so
I love
anyway,
the pre-work on that course. I really do. That's
you know
the
what?
Soulful Art of Sacred Selling, the 10 days of,
Yes.
like, it's a 10-day challenge style. That's how, yeah, I love that we start the course with like 10 days of just digging into our shit. Those
So
journal prompts are big. They're good.
one of the journal prompts, I should have like looked up in my journal before we started recording. One of the journal prompts, I remember having like, it was like a subtle nuance of one word that you said that I had like this brain explosion. And I was like, if I did nothing else in this entire course, I could drop the fucking mic here. And it was like a transformational moment energetically in my cells. And I cannot remember the fucking journal prompt, but I remember sitting with it for like 2 weeks. Because what was this, back in March? This was like months ago.
Yeah, I think so. I typically launch this in March or April of every year. So yeah,
Right.
yeah, yeah. It was one of those months.
Anyways.
So I wanted to say something. Something was coming to me about selling. Oh! This is something else I want to mention that I want people to like start setting the intention to clear. And obviously, the course has all the journal prompts and all the homework to move through this fully. But I think the other thing that is really blocking people is this idea that people are going to get tired of them or sick of them, or that they could Facebook post too much or email too much or Insta story too much or any of that. And like, I just want to tell the people that it's not your responsibility, like how often someone opens their emails or how often someone signs on to Facebook. Like, it's just your responsibility to give good content when they do. So like, I just have this experience that I don't think is normal, where people reply to our sales emails all day long and are like, this email changed my life. Thank you so much. We don't have, it's very rare. I think almost never, that we have that experience of like, you sell too much, too many sell emails. We're being thanked for giving people the opportunity to buy, and people who already decided they're not going to buy are still having the time of their life reading their emails because of the way I write them and the value I give, you know? And that's one of the bonuses in the course is I share all my emails from a $700,000 launch, and then like break down what I do through those emails, like what my little process is that I take people through in an email.
So the process is genius, by the way. I remember, actually, that's why I bought the course. I was like, I need those emails, even though I already read them all, and I'm sure there's somewhere in my email. But I'm like, I just need this wrapped up with a little pretty bow. And I wanted your sales page template. So that's why I bought the course, and I got way more than I bargained for, as always.
Yeah,
But
no, those bonuses are really good. The sales page template. There's the sales page template in there. There's the emails in there. I feel like there's so much stuff in there. So
it's
much
so,
stuff.
and I think with your emails, I think that's going back to the first question that we were talking about, is like how to get people to thank you for selling to them. And really, because when you're selling, you're giving value in and of itself, independent of the offer. And so people can read your sales page or your emails or your Insta post or a live or whatever, and they're getting so much value out of just that they learn something and they walk away. Whether they do business with you or not, you've given them something. And then when they also pay you, they're in such a state of gratitude. And like you said, you found thousands of thank yous that you didn't even know existed, supporting your belief. So, but yeah, I know I've said this before a million times, but like, you're the only person that I never delete a single email from you.
That's so nice.
So
That's so
I love your
sweet.
emails.
I'm pulling up the enrollment page right now so I can see what the bonuses are, because I don't even remember. Yeah, so the 5 training modules, the 21 days of journal prompts, in addition to the 10 days of journal prompts that we consider the pre-work, the sales page layout breakdown, soulful sales copy creation, that's the emails, the soulful art of sacred selling, that's the 10 days. Yeah. Oh, and then the sell from your soul journal, which is the bonus when you pay in full. Wait, did we say I was going to do a different pay in full bonus? You and I had a conversation about this.
You talked about a mug.
We did. Because I wasn't obsessed with the journal, the pink journal that we had made for this course, I'm going to create a special mug. It's not on the sales page right now, but I'll make sure that by time this podcast is live, the special mug, I'll make it say something really cute and vibey, and it will be free for everyone who pays in full. And I'll get that on there soon.
You guys, Amanda's in the middle of a whole nother launch right now. She's not even launching this. And she's like, I'm going to give you guys a special gift. I love it.
I like presents.
I know. You know I do too.
Yeah, no, I like presents.
And then I also have a couple bonuses that I'm going to throw in there just because I have been promising that I would create these. I get asked on the regular for people to create something that explains how to be a multi-passionate creative without killing yourself, essentially. So with me running multiple businesses and, course launches, I have my own course, just launched our parenting course using the Sell From Your Soul sales page template. And we had almost 50 people sign up in our very first mini launch, which was pretty
so
major
good
for us. For a parenting course, I mean, we're not teaching people how to make millions of dollars here. I was so freaking pumped about it. So
I think that's amazing. Yeah. That's great. I didn't realize that you used the layout for yours. That's amazing.
I did.
I'm so happy about this.
I know. I was so excited to dig into those bonuses and start using them ASAP. And then I want to create one other bonus for you guys. Somebody in our little question and answer last week, somebody said, how do I basically find cool strategic partnerships and friends, people looking for different communities of, masterminds and women. And I think that that's something that I've always naturally been really good at. So I'm going to create a little bonus for you guys on how to align yourself for strategic collaborations and awesome friendships. So that will be a fun little mini bonus for you guys. And the first 30 people that sign up, you guys are going to get a bottle of Aura, which is Sacred's brand new energy cleansing spray. We just launched pre-sales last night. Orders have been just flying out the door. It's so exciting. So if you guys watch my Insta stories and you saw me do that little flower experiment about spraying one set of flowers with Aura, one without, and then the other one's lasting days longer, just showing you what high frequencies can do, just on an example for flowers. So you guys will get a bottle of Aura as well. You guys will be one of the first people to experience that product.
When Andrea and I were in New York, I used it to clear the room. We had some funky energy in the room from someone who had to come in and give us something. And then I sprayed the room and I was like, ooh, better. I mean, it's kind of essentially you did an energy clearing on the room with a couple sprays. But you didn't have to go through all the work of doing an energy clearing.
That's exactly what it does. So every low frequency has an opposite high frequency. So we put specific frequencies into this product using a scientific patented process, as well as healing alchemy from our founder, Brandy Bott's core angelic healing team. So it's a pretty cool product. There's nothing on the market like it, but it is one of those things where if the air feels a little funky, maybe you just had an argument with a significant other. Maybe you guys are arguing about where to take your company in the future. Or if you are, honestly, I just use it as an everyday, energetic cleansing. If you guys clean your house on a regular basis, you should pay attention to the energetics of your home, hotel rooms.
Oh, totally.
Bed. I spray my bed. I spray Jeremy when he's sleeping.
I'm gonna spray everything with it. I truly am.
It's so good.
I need one for my car, one for my purse, one for each room in my house. Anyway, but one in the guest room. You're welcome to spray this as much as you need to. Yeah, so good. So, I mean, I just feel I want the people to know that selling and making money doesn't have to be hard. It can feel good. It can feel spiritual. It can feel sacred. It can feel like an act of service. It can feel like a gift. And it's not really about people always think, oh, I have the wrong price point. Oh, my audience was too small. It's the wrong platform. It's the wrong price. I didn't run the right ads. And I just don't think it's any of that. Mm-mm. I create aligned offers. I sell them with my heart and soul. Sometimes I'm inspired to take action around maybe an ad or a certain way of wording something or saying something. But the core of it truly is when I love it and I believe in it and I share it unapologetically, people get fucking behind it and buy it. But in this course, because I always do the practical and the spiritual, I mean, I truly go through what it's like, what my foundation for selling is, like how I call in the social media, how I call in my soulmate clients, like what we do on social media to grow the audience, like all the energetics of everything I do during the launch, what I say, what I think, like what intentions I hold for myself, everything my team does, everything I do, when we send out emails, what we say, like all the fucking things, like all the fucking things.
It's honestly the best money that I've ever spent investing in my business when it comes to taking something from the energetics, which is honestly, I think the piece that I've had the biggest transformation since starting, going into business for myself 8 or 9 years ago or whenever that was.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. It took me so long. Like, how did I miss this last year? It's all in perfect timing, but it's just like wrapped up in a perfect little bow. And it's honestly priced probably a little bit too low in my personal opinion, but
I priced it stupid low. It won't be that price next year. There's no way in hell. That was almost dumb of me. Well, we had just had the money course launch, which was like more than double the price. And it was, I don't know, just something in my vibe was like, this is what feels aligned. This is what feels right. And I'm happy that I priced it the way I did, but no, no, I won't. So you guys are actually like a little extra lucky because you get to enroll when it's not even open for enrollment. But the next time I open it, which is in like 9 months or whatever, like it's not going to be this price. So, yeah. And you get these great bonuses from us. And I love that you get instant access to the 10-day Soulful Art of Sacred Selling. You get to start going through those journal prompts and all the things, and then the modules start opening up for you weekly, and you have it forever, and you have whatever updates I add to it anytime in the future. So all content for life, all updates for life. There's no time limit on it. Yeah, so all good things.
Amazing. So thank you for allowing me to share this with my audience. You guys send me a DM on Instagram or an email. You guys can also go to spirituallyintimate.com/SFYS info. So sell from your soul info, SFYS info. So I'll drop that in Instagram as well for you guys.
What do you have the close date right now?
Hold on. It's probably going to be the 21st, June 21st.
Something in my body says it's the perfect day to close it. So Here we are. Okay, guys. So you have till the 21st of June to take advantage of this special open enrollment through Andrea's special link only.
All right, you guys, thanks for hanging with us. Also, please share this with a friend. I'm sure that you guys learned a few things, and I think this was probably one of my favorite combos ever. So reach out to a friend, share this. Can't wait to chat with you guys on the social medias, and thank you, Amanda.
Thank you, friend. We love you guys. See you in the course.